Jordan. Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, welcome or welcome back. I'm sharing some healthy plant-based meals that I've been meal prepping lately. I'm a full-time graduate student studying to become a nurse practitioner, and I'm also a full-time health coach. So I'm a little bit busy, as I'm sure many of you are. Really helpful if I can get some meals prepped at the beginning of the week. I've got 2 dinner options for you that you could definitely stretch, have leftovers for lunch, or have it a second time for dinner. Also got my favorite breakfast smoothie, and we've got a delicious lunch option to prep for the week. Many of you know I have PCOS, so I choose to eat a diet that is focused on plants. So these are all plant-based. Also like to include lots of anti-inflammatory foods. So if that sounds interesting to you, keep on watching. To a blender, add about 2 cups of your favorite non-dairy milk. I'm using almond milk here, just unsweetened. Then 1 serving of your favorite plant protein. Here I'm using a new one. It's a favorite now. It's called Truvani is the brand, and it's actually by the Food Babe or the Food Babe blog if you've ever seen it. The ingredients are super clean and it tastes amazing. Then 2 tablespoons of flaxseed, and this is the sunny part of the smoothie. 1 tablespoon of unsweetened sunflower seed butter, and then a handful of greens and a dash of cinnamon to warm it up. Cinnamon is really great for blood sugar balance, and this smoothie is full of healthy fats and fiber that are going to keep you nice and full. So I just transfer that to a to-go cup, put it in the fridge for overnight, but you could leave it in the fridge for up to 3 days and make a batch of smoothies. To prep my lunches for on the go, I start by roasting up some veggies, and I've really been liking roasted carrots these days. So I start with some peeled and chopped carrots, add some salt and pepper and a little bit of avocado oil. And this time I went in with some turmeric. Turmeric's super anti-inflammatory and it goes really well with carrots. So just toss that all together so all the seasoning is on the carrots, and you're gonna put that in the oven for 30 minutes. While the carrots are roasting, you're gonna prep your cauliflower rice. So I just bought a bag of riced cauliflower already ready to go. Add your salt, pepper, a little bit of avocado oil. That's going to be a theme in this video. Some onion powder and garlic powder to give it some good flavor. And you'll just toss that together, and it's gonna go in the oven along with the carrots for the last 15 minutes of cooking. So while that is cooking, you're gonna prep your dressing. And the dressing is going to be 2 tablespoons of tahini or ground sesame paste, some freshly grated ginger. This warms it up and gives it such a good flavor, but you can also use powdered ginger. Then I did a tablespoon of white miso paste. You can actually find this at your grocery store. You may just have to ask. It's usually with the tofu, but it's a fermented miso, so it's really good for gut health. Then add about a teaspoon or so of toasted sesame oil, a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, and of course some tamari soy sauce or coconut aminos, whichever one you prefer. Then I added the juice from half of a lime. This just brightens up the dressing, gives it a really good fresh flavor. Teaspoon or so of minced garlic, and your favorite sweetener of choice. I've been experimenting with this monk fruit sweetener, and it doesn't take a lot, just a drop, but you can use whatever sweetener you like, and about 2 tablespoons of water just to thin it out and make it a more like a dressing consistency. I like to whisk it together. You can blend it, stir it with a fork, whatever you like. Now your carrots and your cauliflower rice are done. So now all our components are pretty much ready to go, and we're ready to create our bowls. If I'm eating at home, I just start with a bowl of greens. This time I use some spinach. I add some of the carrots and some of the cauliflower rice. Today for my protein, I went for some thawed edamame. Then I added some avocado, of course, for healthy fats. And I also added some cucumber. I'm trying to make the bowl pretty for you guys, but it's not always pretty, trust me. A little bit of lime juice for squeezing over the top. And then I drizzled on about 2 tablespoons or so of that miso sesame dressing, and just added a sprinkle of hemp seeds and some mint. Mint goes really well with these flavors. And I love adding fresh herbs to the top of anything. It adds that extra boost of antioxidants and flavor that you just aren't expecting and makes it feel kind of special. So if I were prepping this to take to go, to work, or to school, I would actually put the dressing on the bottom. Then the greens don't get soggy, so you put the greens on top, then the carrots, then your cauliflower rice, then you would add whatever protein you were having that day, and some hemp seeds, and then that mint. I may pack my avocado separately so it doesn't get browned, and then you just put the lid on and put it in the fridge until it's ready to go. To prep our risotto, we're gonna start by cooking our millet. Millet is very similar to quinoa or couscous. It's gluten-free and a great plant-based protein. So we'll start by cooking that in a saucepan. I'm adding water here, but that's because I'm going to add some of this no chicken broth base. You can use vegetable broth, no chicken broth, whatever kind of broth you like. Just stir that around and then you'll put it to the heat and get it boiling and cooked. While that's cooking, you're going to roast some asparagus. So I've got some asparagus spears just chopped in half, and I'm going to add some salt and some pepper and a little bit of avocado oil. I love avocado oil for high heat cooking and roasting. Now that our quinoa is ready, you'll see most of the liquid has been absorbed and it's nice and fluffy. So just put that to the side. Then you're gonna heat a saucepan over medium-high heat, again with a little oil, some onion, some salt and pepper, and you're gonna cook the onion until it's nice and translucent. So it'll start to look like this. It'll have little brown bits, and you can add your frozen peas, your lemon zest, and your dried thyme. I always add lemon and thyme together. They just complement each other so well. Once your peas are thawed and warmed, then you're ready to add your millet into the skillet. That rhymed. And you're gonna add 1/3 of a cup of plain hummus and 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. Then I like to add another splash of broth or so. This is just gonna help it get nice and creamy as the hummus melts into the broth. It's gonna actually end up being kind of like a risotto, but you didn't have to stand over the stove for 30 minutes waiting for risotto to be cooked. So I added some herbs and a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil once I was ready to serve it. And then I just added my roasted asparagus right on top and stirred it in. You could have it on the side or on top of the risotto, however you like. Who doesn't love a good slow cooker recipe? I love it because I make this in the morning and I smell dinner as I walk in the door. So to make this tortilla soup, you'll add your onion and your bell pepper to the bowl of a slow cooker, 1 chopped jalapeno seeded, some minced garlic, and your spices. We've got some chili powder, cumin, paprika, salt, and oregano. And some tomato paste. I did about 1 tablespoon. And some fire roasted crushed tomatoes. Add your red lentils right on top and go in with your broth. Again, you can use non-chicken broth or veggie broth and just stir it up. The lentils are gonna soak up a lot of the liquid, so we're gonna cook it on high for 3 hours, or you could do it on low for 5 to 6 hours, whatever timing that you need. So you'll see once it comes out, it's pretty thick. So if you like your tortilla soup a little bit thinner, definitely add a little bit more broth or water. I actually decided to leave mine pretty thick. It was really chunky and yummy and delicious that way, and really good for eating on a tortilla chip. I did add some frozen corn to the end and stirred that in just until it thawed. To serve, I added a dollop of coconut cream right on top, and this just is kind of like adding sour cream right on top. That's a really good hack, just coconut cream from the can, a little bit of fresh herbs, and of course it's tortilla soup, so you have to have some tortilla strips on top. Thank you guys so much for watching. Really hope you enjoyed this healthy meal prep video. As a bonus this week, I've got a PDF that you guys can download. So it's like a meal prep plan with a grocery list to go along with these meals. The link for that will be in the description below. If you want to see more meal prep, cooking style recipe videos like this, make sure you let me know down in the comments below. I'm always experimenting with vlogs, recipe videos, chit chats here and there. So I really like to know what you guys want to see so that I can give it to you. Make sure you sign up for my newsletter, follow me on Instagram for more recipe inspiration, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Make sure you share it with a friend if you think they may enjoy it too. All right, guys, I will see you next week for another one.